Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm Balboa. In this video, I have you guys to guide to the Udawara dungeon. As you guys can see in the top right, I have 100,000 points. This is pretty much just going to be a guide to get the most amount of points. I'll have a full guide explaining everything that you need to do in detail. But this video will pretty much just be explaining what I do. And then a different video will just be a different like guide type thing, like BDAs you should use and all that. I might make a separate video dedicated to BDAs and breathings that you should use as well, and a bunch of other videos. But yeah, this video is going to be pretty much just how I got 100k points and what you guys should do to actually obtain this 100k points. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. My current goal is 5,000 subs. And also join my Discord down below if you want to know some things like this, and also some giveaways are being hosted in there. But yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be items that you're going to need to actually be able to get these points. You're not just going to be able to run in there with like any old items. You're also going to need some friends. This run is not solo. I will have a full separate solo video. This run is specifically with friends. I would recommend 2 other friends. For some reason, the like health scaling is really good when you bring 2 other people. So 3 people in the dungeon is what I would recommend doing. I believe I started this one with 4 and then 1 left. So the health scaling was a bit off. I probably could have gotten more points than 100k. But yeah, pretty much you'll never need more than 100k points anyways. But yeah, the actual items that you're going to want to bring, or at least that I recommend, this is what I was wearing at the time. So I was wearing the Devour Mask, the Polar Top and Bottom, Tendon Uniform, the Rengoku Haori, the Vigilante Scarf, the Mythic Necklace, Straw Hat, and the Health Lantern. What I actually recommend bringing is going to be something different than that. So I still recommend the Rengoku Haori, all that, like, Rengoku Haori, the Tengen Uniform, the Polar Mask, top and bottom, because for some reason I traded my Polar one. But yeah, the Polar one is going to be better. I believe the Devourer top is actually going to be better stat-wise, so maybe you bring that, but that's, like, very, like, overkill. But yeah, for actual like weapons, I recommend to bring the war fans if you are a demon. If you're a slayer, obviously just bring your katana. But yeah, the war fans are definitely going to be a lot better than the scythe and the claws. Now, the next thing that you're going to have to worry about is going to be a scarf. If you don't want to bring the vigilante scarf, then the red scarf I believe is the best one, because you do get some extra damage. And then pretty much Haoris. If you don't have Rengoku, I recommend bringing either the demon one or the slayer one. Lanterns is pretty much, you want to bring the stamina regen one, but I only had the health regen one, because you are going to, well, at least if you're a demon, you're going to need stamina way more than you're going to need health. And potions, you're going to need anything health related, so you're going to need these jumbo ones a lot. But yeah, once when you actually get your little, once when you actually get your items situated, now the next thing is going to be your BDA or breathing. There's a few that I suggest and a lot more that I don't suggest, but I'll just be going over the ones that I do suggest. So for breathings, the only good ones are going to be mist breathing and wind breathing. All the other ones have like terrible AoE. Thunder is like alright, but the cooldowns on the AoE moves for that are just too long. You're gonna pretty much only want to use mist for the most part, but if you want, you can use wind. Wind is kind of viable as well. Now, demons have a lot more options, but the ones that I recommend personally is going to be ice. Ice is what I was using, what my friends were using. That's pretty much how we got the run, because ice is so broken right now. Then your next one that's going to be your best bet is going to be Reaper, because you can get aggro super easily with Reaper with the ultimate and all that. The only problem is the damage isn't very good, but if you ever need to run away or something, you have Sonito, and you also have your ultimate, so that's why that's really good for dungeons. And then the last one is actually going to be Swamp. That's just because Swamp has a lot of high AoE, and also like slows down the opponents and all that. So that's the BDAs and breathings that I recommend to run. And then pretty much the last thing that I can tell you before we actually get into my personal, like, what I did, is make sure that you have a lot of potions, especially stamina and health. Stamina you only need to worry about if you are going to be a demon, which I assume most of you are, because demons are kind of just better right now. So yeah, stamina and health is what you're going to need to focus on. Now, for what I actually did on your screen, you will now see the run. Just a real quick recording of it. I didn't even edit it or anything. But yeah, pretty much your main things that you're going to want to focus on is going to be going from like southeast to a different direction. Wherever the mobs are, you're going to actually have to have comms with your teammates. Comms is just communication. You're going to have to be very coordinated with your team. I would not have gotten 100k if I was like with randoms that I didn't have a mic with. So yeah, you're going to have to be very coordinated with your team. So pretty much, let's say the mobs are like west and you are currently running to north and there's no mobs to the north. Obviously, you're going to need more time, because if you guys don't know, the more mobs you kill, the more time you have remaining. Unless if you're low HP or something, and then, so yeah, unless if you're low HP, then you pretty much want to go straight to the direction where all the mobs are, fight them, and then they'll respawn in a different direction. You want to go from one direction, one direction, one direction. So pretty much, like, if you're starting off west and you want to go east, and then, or if you're starting off west, then you want to go south, and then east, and then north, in that type of form, like just doing full circles around the map to pretty much just maximize the amount of points that you can gain. And then if you need to heal, all that you have to do is back up to one of the gates. Certain maps do have gates. I believe every map actually has a gate. If you back up to the gate, you'll be the farthest possible that you can from the mobs. And then most of the time they don't aggro on them. Only the mobs that spawn at that gate will actually spawn there. And then pretty much you're safe there. After you kill the little demons, you can heal or whatever, and then go fight the other ones. That's pretty much what I did. As you guys can see in the recording, I pretty much just did circles over and over and over again. Now, the next thing that I have to say is that if you don't have, but yeah, to go more into the health scaling side of things, I recommend to do it with 2 other people, so a total of 3. If you do 4, they're going to have a little bit too much health, and if you do 5, they're going to have way too much health, unless some of you guys are all max level and can know for sure that you're going to do it. But yeah, pretty much all that you're going to want to do is do full circles around the map, going from west to east to south to whatever. It doesn't matter which direction you go from. It doesn't even have to be a circle. Just you don't want to stay in one direction the whole time. But yeah, that's pretty much the full guide. It's pretty easy. All that you have to do is run around, heal. You want to be abusing your ice BDA, and also you're going to want to be using fans. If you're not using ice BDA, that's fine, but you're going to have to bring fans. If you are a Slayer, you're going to be at a very, very big disadvantage. But yeah, pretty much you're just going to want to run around. You're going to need a lot of healing pots. You're going to want to go to the farthest possible way. Now, the last thing that you're going to have to worry about is going to be bosses. Bosses, I highly recommend just using your most damaging things. And then for non-bosses, like the normal mobs, use, for ice, for example, I used my ultimate or my C move, because that was the highest AoE one. For normal mobs, you want to use your AoE moves. For your bosses, you're going to want to do your single target high damage moves. But yeah, that is pretty much the full guide. That's all that I have to really say. Alright, so after editing, I realized that I messed up somewhere. If you guys did not know, there's little orbs that spawn whenever you kill people randomly. So the ones that you're going to want to mainly prioritize, which was the whole reason why I was able to get this far, is going to be stamina and health. If you ever see those on the ground, go for it. I don't care what you have to risk, dash towards it. It doesn't really matter. You need stamina. You're going to need as much health as possible. This 100k run is not possible if you do not consistently go for those. The other things that you want to go for is going to be obviously like 2 times points. You can go for Wisteria if you just want to reset. If there's like too many mobs on the map, you can go for the Wisteria poison as well, just to reset and get like a fresh start. But yeah, that's the only thing that I wanted added. Now we'll continue on with the video. Everything else just comes up to like how good your communication with your team is and all that. But yeah, it's definitely not hard. All that you're gonna have to do is pretty much just gain the IQ. But what I would recommend is for sure ice BDA, for sure the fans. You're gonna have to bring a lot of potions. The armor that I suggested earlier is what I recommend bringing in as well. And then you're just gonna have to bring a friend group, preferably like a friend group, some people that you already know, so you can at least have fun, because it did take 2 whole hours to actually get the 100k points. But yeah, that's pretty much just the full guide. The rest of it comes down to just experience. Just have communication, do full circles, like go from west to east, or from west to south to east to north, just in that direction. It doesn't matter which one you start at, obviously, and you don't have to do full circles like I was explaining earlier. But yeah, it's honestly not too hard to gain 100k points. All that you need is pretty much ice BDA and fans. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. My current goal is going to be 5,000 subs. I appreciate anyone who has subbed. I believe we gained like almost 2k in the last like week. So I appreciate anyone who subbed. Join my Discord down below. I'll be hosting giveaways and a bunch of other stuff. And I will have more dungeon videos out. I'll have a solo guide. I'll have pretty much how to gain mastery, which is pretty much just the same method. And then some more videos like the explaining the dungeon shop and like what to buy. But this is the end for this video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.